So, last year I wasn't really ready to leave, so I stayed a fifth year. And I guess I'm really not ready to leave now either, but alas. So, growing up in my church at home always tried to paint a very clear picture of what it's like to be a Christian, but I found that clarity is somewhat overrated. We all see religion differently. We all have different definitions of what it means to be a Christian. But what PCC has taught me as much as anything else is that Christian theology is still relevant on a modern college campus if we allow it to be. The world is far more complicated than I would have ever guessed 5 years ago. Likewise, my own faith is as complicated as it ever has been. If a friend asks me about my faith or religion or something like that, a short response is never given, and indeed one cannot be given. I am constantly changing my story, evaluating and reevaluating my place in the universe, flying all over the continuum between unshakable faith and unbearable skepticism, and being generally confused most of the time. So why then has PCC remained relevant for me? Well, it's because PCC does not try to correct my contradictions. PCC cultivates my contradictions. And at my senior recital last year, I included a poem, and I had a line in it that said, I remember we talked about it as we washed the dishes, and I never felt more lost, which is, on many occasions, I've had infinitely more questions at the conclusion of one of our dinner dialogues than I had at the start, and I do suppose that is the point. My grandmother recently passed away, and she held on to her Christian faith right up to the end. But she, like anyone else, had her doubts from time to time. Along with many other Christians, her favorite hymn was "Amazing Grace" and its famous line, "I once was lost, but now I'm found." And this is what faith can do, but also I would like to add an alternate reading. For me, a lot of the time, I am simultaneously lost and found. But being lost and found at the same time can and should be what it means to be a person of faith. And I think PCC has always understood this. And if we cannot question, we cannot grow. But I've always been able to grow here. So now, 3 is a very biblical number, so I'll give 3 requests here at the end. So first of all, I would like it very much if Go Hungry for Hunger is continued in future years. And I had a great time fasting with all of you, and I think it's an important part of any church's mission to be involved in lending a helping hand. Second, someone has to continue to make references to obscure Star Trek episodes during dinner dialogue. Christine, Tim, any takers? This is of utmost importance. For years, I carried out this task all by myself, and everyone except Lori looked confused all the time, so the tradition must continue. And finally, speak out. Don't be afraid to tell people that you come here, that you're involved, and when you're here, don't be afraid to add in your own unique viewpoint. PCC has always been the perfect place to get a break from school, but that doesn't mean the skills you develop as students are of no use here. And so, a couple of quick thank yous. Chris, once again, the music has been incredible, and although you brush it off a lot of the time, I think that by now you must know how much we enjoy it. And it was an incredible opportunity to take lessons with you last year, and I hope you realize how much you mean to us. And Lori, preacher, friend, counselor, biblical encyclopedia, you do all of this, and you keep us all engaged at the same time. You've made me think about things I never would have thought of and look at things in truly new ways. So this is a mark of a truly great preacher, and you also taught me the proper use of the word harumph, so that's especially important. And of course, there's all of you. The old saying is that the church is the people, and I've never found that to be more true than it is here. In a church, it's easy to define ourselves by our theology, our opinions, our customs, our upbringing, and I find myself guilty of this often, but what we always have to remember is that it is most important to define ourselves by our relationships with other people. I love the music, the sermons, the teachings, the food, the activities, but the one thing that really made it special for me was the opportunity to get to know all of you. So Just remember that.